Good evening. This is my review of Cosmopolis for the SourceFed Movie Club. I'm filming this on my iPhone because I lost my SD card somewhere in my room, and those things are so small. And it's late at night, and I don't have enough attention span to look thoroughly for it. So, I've written a few notes on this movie, and hopefully I'll be able to cover them quickly. I originally wanted to watch this movie because I knew that it was made in Toronto, and that's where I am right now. The first shot in the movie actually pans down to Union Station on Front Street. Those big beige columns are our train station, our main station for GO trains and other kinds of train transportation. So my original few thoughts on the movie was that there's quite a few cute boys in it. Oh, sorry. I still have the movie playing. I was reviewing the last little bit of it, and that was the gunshot. Spoiler. He shoots himself at the hand at the end of it, and I feel like that's a really good whole, plot point that summarizes what this whole movie is about. I'll get to that in a minute. Let's see. Robert Pattinson is pretty deadpan for the first hour and a half of the movie, and one thing I can't get over is his huge eyebrows, but I guess that's his thing, so you go ahead, rock it, whatever. So I felt like watching this movie was a bit like a screenwriting, whoever wrote it was kind of just jizzing all over the script. It felt like there was a whole bunch of one-liners in the movie that the whole film was based around, and because of that, it's very quotable, but it feels like they're really not saying anything. A lot of the actors are doing a really great portrayal of whatever character they're in, or whatever they're trying to say is said with a lot of emotion, but for the most part, I didn't really understand what was going on, and I found it pretty difficult to follow. It's Saturday night, I'm watching this quite late, and I tried to go into it with an open mind. I wasn't expecting anything, I had my expectations really low, but somehow I still felt unfulfilled, underwhelmed by this movie, there was always something missing. And the thing that I figured was missing after I watched it for a while was that these actors were doing such a good job in their standalone roles, and they were harnessing their lines so well. It was almost like watching a stage theater piece. And I feel like this would have been a kind of script that would have worked better at a community theater type, or some sort of artsy venue instead of a $20 million film. It definitely isn't going to please most people, but it's definitely would be more for the critics or the actual filmmakers who can appreciate how much thought and can sit back and process all of the smart screenplay. But I'm not one of those smart people, and it was completely over my head. Most of this film, I could understand what they were trying to get at, but I didn't get it at all. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, there's some sex in it, so it's worth watching. There's one scene with boobs, so it gets my vote. There's a whole bunch of stuff about rat iconography, or what is that, where they use an image in a film repetitively as a theme to mean something. There was a lot of protesting going on against the economy. I think this movie was set in the future, so a lot of corporate mindset had taken over already. And it feels like a lot of people were protesting for some reason. I didn't really understand that at all. Let's see. Really sexy stun gun plea. Oh yeah, the scene with that had the boobs. At the end of it, there's this really sexy Robert Pat. I didn't really get turned on by anything in this movie except for the point where he was like, "Stun me with that stun gun." I was like, "Do it, do it." But like this whole movie was actually a bit like that. Like he shoots himself in the hand, or he begs to be shot by a shotgun, or even this final scene in the movie that's happening now. I don't mean to spoil it, but it made me feel like, where's the kaboom? Where's the earth-shattering kaboom? It just fades to black at the end of it, and I feel like that's a good representation for the whole film. There's a whole bunch of stuff, there's a whole bunch of talk, there's a whole bunch of minor action all leading up to something that you might think will happen, but then there's no kaboom. It's one of those movies that was really thought-provoking, but yet I didn't gain anything from it. Like, it made me think a lot, but I didn't learn anything from it, and I didn't enjoy it, really. Like, I found myself forcing myself to watch it. It was just, let's see, like, the film, the script, and what people say, the actors are very good and convincing, and, like, the dialogue that happens is interesting. Like, it's very quotable, there's lots of cool things that they say and lots of ideas that are planted, but, it's almost like there's too much thought put into the script, and it was really difficult for me to follow. I feel like I'd have to watch it a few more times to really understand what's going on. But when I started looking at it from like an artist or like a writer's standpoint, I kind of started to appreciate the movie better. And by around the time that I realized that, there was only about half an hour left of the film, which is when it started getting really good. Like, honestly, you could tune in to an hour and 20 minutes into the movie, and I feel like the duologue with Paul Giamatti and Robert Pattinson at the end of it is totally the whole point of the movie for me. Let's see. Yeah, Robert Pattinson starts actually showing emotion, not only in his face, but in the things that he's saying. In the start of the movie, he was just being really cryptic and businessman-like, and I feel like that's actually a good role for him to play, because, like, didn't he take the Twilight job because of the money initially, and then he ended up, like, hating the fan base and the movies and stuff? I'm not sure how that ended up, but, I think it's a rumor on Tumblr that he actually hates Robert Pattinson hates Twilight, and that kind of makes me feel better for him, because I didn't really like Twilight too, and I feel like that kind of, attitude is the way that his character kind of is in the film. Like, he is a businessman, but he hates the way that everyone is running their life. I'm trying to understand this as much as I can, but I'm really doing a lot of guesswork here. The part that made me pee myself was I was just browsing through Tumblr at the moment, and this was really like a gratuitous picture of myself here, because I really don't understand what the heck's going on in this movie. You know, it just... it was really hard for me to follow, and I was browsing Tumblr near the end of it, and then freaking there's a loud gunshot, and I nearly pissed myself. So, and then nobody even died. Well, okay, some people did die, but, like, at the end, I don't know, this is getting really disjointed, and I hope the SourceFed editors can make something good out of this. This is a weird, rambly iPhone video, and I hope you like it. And this has been Cuckoo, or Juicebox, or Joyce Brown, signing out for SourceFed Movie Club, watching this weird as fuck movie. Thanks. Let's watch something funny and good. Maybe a classic next time. I'm all for it. Thanks, guys.